Hi, I'm the hydroponics guy. Today I want to show you how you can give your plants a real boost for winter. It's early fall, it's a nice cloudy day, so I've decided today I'm going to bring my plants outdoors and give them a bath, leach the root systems, get rid of all the impurities that have built up around the roots from the water and unused nutrients and all of that, and get them all set for winter. Now, I want to show you that the reason I can do what I'm doing is because my plants are all growing in a hydroponic system, outer pot, inner pot, water gauge, and the most important thing is that they're growing in these Leach the Pebbles instead of growing in soil. And this growing in a system like this allows me to do all of what I'm doing to get a really happy plant, a healthy plant for the winter months. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. Okay, the tools we're going to use for this is a bucket of warm water, ivory dish soap, a soft bristle brush, and I'm going to add neem oil to my water just in case there's any insects and for a preventative measure. The only neem oil that I use is a 100% cold pressed neem oil. I don't use the diluted version, doesn't do any good at all. Scissors to trim the leaves, and then of course trusty garden hose to rinse the plant down when we're done. Now, if you don't have a patio or you don't have a balcony that you can take your plants out on to do this, you can do this in the shower also. Step number one is to trim the tips of the leaves. You'll get brown tips on many of your leaves, spider plants, rhapis palms, things like that. It's not abnormal. This is from the fluoride and chlorine and so on in the water, and the plant pushes them out to the end of the tips. And brown tips, I mean, it's going to happen. So what I do with a rhapis palm, because if you look closely with a rhapis palm, the leaf is at the end of the leaf is actually serrated. So I use a pinking shears on a rhapis palm and just go through and trim all of the brown tips on all of the leaves. It takes time, but your plant's going to be happy. You also want to trim away any discolored leaves that have turned yellow or brown like this. They're never going to turn green again, so be aggressive. Any leaf that is discolored, trim it away. Now is the time to do it. Now, after we've trimmed all of the brown tips, we give the plant a good shower with the garden hose. Oh boy, he loves this. Okay, this is an important part. This is how we clean the leaves. You hold the leaf in your hand and you use the brush and you pull the brush towards you. You never brush inward, you always pull out, brushing all of the leaves. Then you also want to get the underside of the leaf because that's where insects hide. And what you do is you keep your brush saturated and you just work your way around the plant gently and evenly, pulling the brush towards you with your soapy water. Now I clean about a fourth of the plant or just one side of the plant, and and then I rinse that part down because I don't want those soap suds and all of that stuff to dry on the leaves. And you can't overdo it with this part. Okay, now you might be wondering what happens to all of that soil and neem oil and all of that when it washes from the leaves down through the stems into the pot. Well, with hydroponic plants, all I have to do is leach the pebbles. I put the garden hose on top of the pot and leach the pebbles, and I do this for about 30 seconds to a minute, and what happens is all of the impurities wash away. This is impossible with soil plants because the soil really absorbs the soap and won't let go. Like a pebble, everything will rinse away and rinse clean. And it's another reason to grow your plants in pots that have drainage holes in the bottom. Okay, now we're going to take a look at how to clean some broadleaf plants that have wider leaves. This is a Dracaena warnicki, or ribbon Dracaena, in a 7-inch tall pot, and this is Clivia growing in a 7-inch. That's a 6-inch tall, that's a 7-inch tall. Cleaning these plants, the first thing we do is, just like before, we get rid of all the bad leaves, and then taking our time again with the scissors, trimming the tips. And it's not a big deal if your plant has tips like this. This is the time now that you just go around and you cut all of those tips off. And sometimes when you have leaves with a lot of burn on it like that, I just take the whole leaf off. Go to the base of the plant and just twist the leaf, and the leaf will come right off. The other thing you want to do when you're trimming is trim on an angle, rather so that it doesn't look so cut off when you trim the ends. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now I've removed the plant from the outer pot, and now I'm going to use the garden hose or in your shower and give it a good bath. Then it's the same procedure with your brush, holding the leaf in your hand and pulling the brush towards you. You don't go in, you pull it out. And you just go around and you get all of the leaves. And you need to get on the underside of the leaves too. And you can do that, just start at the bottom, take your time, and this plant will be a happy guy too when we get it all cleaned up. Now what I like to do to finish it off, so I've sprayed it, we've got the soap on it, and with the neem oil, holding the leaf again in your hand, this is just a plain paper towel, and pull it towards you, and that's how I dry the leaves. Now notice that these leaves, this is a natural shine in the leaf, and I see people use all kinds of different home remedies to shine their leaves. You don't need it, okay? A healthy plant has a good sheen to the leaves or a good shine on the leaves. You just need to keep the leaves clean, and your plant will be happy. And so now you just take your time and work your way around the plant, cleaning the leaves one at a time. And now the last thing I do is leach the roots. And the plant's like this. Just running the water through the roots, getting rid of all of those impurities. All right, that should do it. Let it drain. I'll put it back in the outer pot, and it's ready to go back inside. Next, let's take a look at this clivia. It's well rooted. Pull it out of the pot. And there we have it, and it's the same thing. We trim the leaf. First we trim the leaves. And trimming the leaves with this, you see the brown tips on the end? Trim it like in a corner, or I mean in a little bit of a circle. I'm not going to take any leaves off of this guy. I just have 3 trims. Okay, it's the same process again. Give it a shower using my neem oil and soap, holding the leaf and pulling it away from the plant. Give it a shower, leach the roots. Hydroponics makes this stuff really easy and clean. Using my paper towel, I'm going to hold the leaf in my hand, pulling it towards me and cleaning the leaves one by one. And don't forget to do the underside of the leaves. That's just as important as the top. And there's our clivia, all cleaned up. That's a nice looking plant. Okay, we're back indoors, and I just want to take a minute to show you how this Rhapis palm is set up in its decorative pot that gives me the ability to take it indoors and outdoors. The setup for the Rhapis palm is, first of all, it's growing in a 14-inch grow pot with the Leach the Pebbles. And what I've done is I drill holes all the way around the side of the grow pot so that the air gets into the root system, and that helps me get the healthy plant that I have. Now over here on the decorative pot, this is a tall ceramic container, and what we have here is on the inside is a clear plastic saucer that catches the water, that acts as the reservoir, and that is built up to sit at about this level, so that when I put the plant in there, the plant will be sitting up about at that level, and we'll have a nice looking plant. Okay, now all I have to do is pick up the plant and put it back in its decorative container. I just want to point out that when I pick up the plant, I want to pick it up by the pot, not by the plant itself, so that the plant doesn't pull out of the pot. So all I have to do is lift this guy up, put him in a decorative pot, and there you are, a happy plant.